can go online. I don't know where these actually exist, but there's political parties like the Active Communist Revolution Party that like want to overthrow the government. And if it's part of your ideological consistency to not vote because you want active revolution, okay, fine. I hope you don't win. What's up, dude?
I wish I know more about it, but I don't know what I can say about it.
I think that most folks in Columbia just go back to work on Wednesday after the election, and deal with it. Hopefully it'll be the right deal.
Okay, here's the deal. Don't be a sucker. Vote.
Look at the facts. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, I used to be a liberal until I lived in Massachusetts for 4 years, and I know all about John Kerry.
I have the mark of John Kerry upon my breast.
I think he's a fake and a fraud and a liar. I wouldn't let him run my lemonade stand, let alone my country.
Voting is hot. Vote. Get rid of W. We've got to live together. We're all in everything together. We're on a very small planet, and it's important to work together.
John Kerry never set forth a plan, never set forth anything to take care of the terrorists. And I know a lot of people said wrong war, wrong time, wrong place, but at the same time, our friends, our children, and our relatives are fighting their rear ends off in this war to make sure that we here in America are safe.
2 plus 2 does not equal 5. War is not peace.
I don't want to live in a theocracy. The best way to predict whether somebody's going to vote Democrat or Republican in the United States today is to ask them how often they attend church.
We're both Christians, and so I'm looking to make sure that we get back to our Christian values as a nation. That's my prayer.
If you attend church weekly or more often, you are twice as likely to vote Republican as if you attend church less than weekly or not at all.
George spends far too much time talking about how he's on a mission from God, which sounds vaguely to me like the Antichrist.
Oh, this is such an important election, extremely important.
Most of the time we vote on candidates who are opposed to abortion.
The gay marriage issue.
The appointment of Supreme Court judges.
The stance on abortion.
Terrorism.
Whether or not we should be in the war.
The gay marriage issue.
The employment issues.
The economic issues.
Mainly like abortion.
The environment.
Choice.
Where are the weapons of mass destruction?
Women's rights in general. The defense of marriage issue.
Gay and lesbian rights.
A huge list.
Well, it's hard to say, but which one wins, it will not be a problem for the relations between America and China, I think.
I like the notion that there will come a time of healing. That this has been the most divisive presidency that I've ever experienced.
That's what this election amounts to. Like, people like these nice little categories of liberal and conservative. When the thing is,
they're going to say, I'm voting for Kerry because he's not Bush.
Everything that September 11th did, he hoarded out and used it for his own arbitrary political agenda, which hasn't solved anything. Yeah. America is not safer now.
If you're not in favor of killing people who, really have no involvement in this whatsoever, then you're un-American.
I think most Americans share a lot of values. In fact, I think political parties are using differences to drive distinctions, and they always have, and bully for them. That's what they should do. That's politics in a nutshell. So long as it's based on fact and evidence and not lies. And I think that's been a significant difference in this campaign season, is that certainly not for the first time people have been lying to people, but for the first time people have been as bold as they've been in this election season, that whenever you're in doubt, just make something up.
Did you make your hat?
I'm supposed to be like Peter Pan, Peter Pod. We're having a benefit concert.
For what?
Propositions 1 and 2. Raising money to support Propositions 1 and 2. Reforming Columbia's marijuana laws. So we've put 2 propositions on the ballot, 1 and 2. One's for medical marijuana, 2's for reducing penalties for misdemeanor possession. Any happy little thoughts?
Peter Pot is here, and soon Tinker Bud will appear with her magic dust. And all you have to do is believe.
You can have to go back in time and vote, or you can at least fly. Yeah, there you go.
Are you guys high right now?
What's up? Did you have fun last night?
Is that where you see the polarization being? Do you see the polarization being a class line issue, or do you see it someplace else?
Well, I don't think you can ever reduce it to pure class. I mean, it's not a Marxist. I don't subscribe to economic reductionism or anything like that.
I think polarized is probably the wrong word. I don't know the right word. Polarized suggests negatives, right? That fear is driving the election, and I think that's a large part of it. And there's no question. There are things to be fearful about. The fate of the world, blah blah blah. But I also, I sense this real energy, this really kind of very cool energy, and people mobilized to go for their guy. And that's democracy. I mean, that, if that's polarization, well, that's okay with me. The Missourian is a 96-year-old publication that was begun by Walter Williams. It is the largest 7,000 circulation newspaper in the world. I'm quite confident to say that. We have about 120 reporters. We can do the kind of reporting that no 100,000 population town can afford to do. And, this city is really fortunate. I mean, it's fortunate to have the Columbia Daily Tribune as well. It's the smallest community we can find that has two competing dailies. What hasn't changed is the default model of elections coverage, and that is that elections are about winning and losing, about winners and losers, about the horse race.
And a lot of it has to do with that skewed warped notion of objectivity that, on the other handism, that we display over and over and over again during this campaign. Here's a mountain of evidence over here, but on the other hand, and then we allow whoever has whatever wild allegation to make it, in the interest of what? Balance? I mean, it's absurd.
One thing about the horse race coverage is that it only requires two sides. Balance is easy, fairness is not.